Next
Okay,
next
well,
month.
good morning, everyone. We've been having a bit of a chit chat here at Bronnie's World, at Bronnie's desk before we've hit record, and so hopefully we don't miss anything. But it's the first Tuesday of August, the 4th of August, actually. Ooh, it's a big month for me. I've got a child turning 40 this month, near the end, and a husband having a birthday. He's 73, but that's near the end of the month. Anyway, we have our dear friend, Pharmacist Lisa Hamill from the USA. And she was just reminding us this is her 12th episode with us here in Bronnie's World, at Bronnie's desk, because it was actually last September that she did her first one with us. How exciting is that? It just blows my mind at how far into the year we are already. So, I'm going to now, I'm not 100% sure what Lisa's talking about today because we talked about a lot of things. And I know she's talking about joints and bones and all sorts of things and dancing. So, with no further ado, Lisa, I'm handing it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Bronie. As a matter of fact, Bronwyn, I'm wondering, when is your birthday again?
October,
Okay, that's coming up
18th of
October
October,
what? 10 what?
18.
18. Okay.
I'm just a spring
Good.
chicken.
Spring chicken. Very good. All right. Well, there's nothing better
I,
than a
ha- I have
spring
no I have
chicken.
no qualms about my age. I'm quite happy to tell people my age. I sometimes
Wonderful.
make them guess first.
Well, good. All right. So I think what we were going to talk about as a suggestion, a little bit of a recap of last session where we did the aerobics. And then I
Yeah,
sent you some music that you could use if you wanted to.
you did.
But what I discovered since then was an interesting study done out of Harvard, of all places, by a doctor that was demonstrating this.
All right, I got a baby here.
Okay, yeah, all right. So she's done this study to compare the benefits of exercise and cognition.
Yeah.
Now, some people think that they get smarter when they do the treadmill, or they go for a walk, or they do crossword puzzles. And then they looked at those two parameters in relation to dancing. What do you think about that? Now, all of those are going to increase circulation. You know, walking will increase circulation to the brain, and crossword puzzles are not usually done associated with movement, but it does help develop cognition. They say crossword puzzles. Reading is also very beneficial. Just reading
Yeah.
boosts the mental acuity that we would like to develop in the later years, perhaps. Some people, yes, some people, no. But what was dramatically greater was the benefit of dancing, not just aerobics, but dancing in general. Because if you think about how sharp you have to be to stay in tune with your partner, maintain the beat, move your hands and feet in the right direction at the right time, dancing can be mentally demanding, challenging, and habilitating enough to auto magically increase your cognition scores. Would you like to hear some of the results?
Yep.
Of
If
course.
someone was to take a cognitive test prior to any of these study parameters, and you use 0 as the baseline, that's their baseline, so that's where they started off with. When they compared just walking on a treadmill to say something like reading. Okay, reading gives you mental acuity, and then versus crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles increased cognition by 35%. How's that? And when you compare that to people, and this is doing it like 2 to 3 times a week, it's not like you have to do it every day. But if you compare that to people who engaged in dancing, like salsa dancing or jazz dancing or tap dancing,
Or ballroom
where you had
dancing.
to really, yeah, rumba, all those different things that required the coordination of your mind and body. And if you dance with a partner, it takes even more demanding movements.
I tell you,
And
line
it
dancing
boosts,
is very demanding.
I'm sorry,
Line dancing, if especially when there's a
line
lot of people
dancing.
doing it, if you
Yes.
if you're out of step,
You're in trouble. Yeah. Now, the thing is, my background in Bulgaria and in Greece, I go to the Greek Orthodox Church here in Santa Cruz, and they have celebrations with all their Greek food and fundraisers, and they always have like a live out orchestra, and they'll do line dancing. And it's a very common practice. They'll spend at least an hour or two line dancing in between snacks and meals and singing and whatever. And it's very light. It's not demanding exercise, but it is really movement. And what's interesting about that whole dance idea is the cognition that is involved in keeping your steps in line, staying on top of it, working with your partner, whatever. But it actually increased the cognitive scores by 75%.
Wow.
woohoo,
Now, that's like twice the benefit of crossword puzzles. And crossword puzzles don't give you the circulation benefit,
no,
of having that going for you. But and then reading is also up there as far as like 30 to 40% or whatever in terms of just using your brain and making it that much more effective. But along with the the
can I just
circulation,
interrupt you there for a minute?
yeah.
Now, I was thinking about the reading. So many people now do audiobooks and they only listen. And to me, and they class that as reading. I don't class that as reading because you're not
Okay,
using your
well,
brain, you're not using your eyes, you're just listening. You're only using your ears.
that's true. Okay, well, I go for a walk a lot, and when I'm walking, I'll usually listen to an educational video. So that's not reading, but it does offer some education. So I'm sort of
Oh yes,
you know,
I understand
double
that, but
fisting
but the reading in the terms that you're talking about for um, health
cognition.
benefits, cognitive
Right, right, right. Yeah,
functions.
definitely.
Now,
No,
I just wanted to
reading.
clarify that because I don't want people to think, oh, well, I read because I have people tell me, I read heaps, and I'm going, oh yeah, okay, and it's particularly when I know that they aren't good readers. Like, where's your book? What are you reading? Oh no, it's on audio thing.
Yeah, well, audio reading is just like watching television or listening to the radio. It's not really reading, okay? But it's a step above nothing, right?
True, very true.
Okay. So that's the deal there. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting about this dance study and what they wanted to bring up is that the movement of dancing not only boosts circulation in all the muscles and so forth, but it's very beneficial to our joints. For instance, our knees, our back, our neck, all the different movement that's involved, like almost using a hula hoop to. I thought I heard another member of the audience there that wanted to
Yes, I.
participate.
Oh yes, she's supposed to be. She's normally asleep this time of the day.
Okay, well, she probably wanted to boost her cognition a little bit and listen to our conversation.
That's it.
So, dancing does offer that mental acuity boost, as well as if you can remember, okay, Grant, I know you're
Yep.
very physically active and you're not a
Yes.
big proponent of stretching, right?
No, I'm not a big proponent of stretching. No, I used to be, but not anymore. No, no.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to address that for a minute because when I've taken a lot of my classes and gone through, physical education or whatever, they
But
would recommend stretching prior to using your muscle.
they do. The army does too.
Only, I'm sorry.
The army recommends it as well, and everyone I've ever spoken to has recommended stretching prior to using the muscles, but they're wrong.
They're wrong. Okay,
They're wrong.
let's hear what your story is so I can tell you my story.
Okay. My story is that I was very physically active, and I had a minor damage in my little groin muscle. So I tried stretching it out. And over periods of time, when you actually stretch a muscle, the fascia in there, which surrounds the muscle, gets protective. So the fascia puts up a little bit of pain to stop you from moving. When you actually move through that, it puts up a little bit more pain to stop you from moving some more. And that, particularly when it gets into joints area, then when the fascia is damaged, then it won't allow the nutrients to pass through the fascia and the waste products to go out. And so the fascia, the cartilage starts to dry. So over a period of about 15 years, I developed severe osteoarthritis in my right hip because I'm pretty determined little bugger, and I kept doing what I'd been trained to do. Now I don't do that. I don't stretch at all, but I move a lot. So I move in fascia-friendly, pain-free movement, and my range of movement is slowly improving. So yeah, I had to go through developing severe osteoarthritis, which means I can't walk and I can't ride a horse or ride a bike to actually work it out. So it took me 15 years to work that out. And I'm well on. I've been doing it now for nearly 7 months, and I'm improving. So I can, and then when I started properly moving, also my constipation went away. Well, it hasn't gone away completely, but it's dropped off. I had severe constipation from chemotherapy and radiotherapy in 2011, and that buggered me up quite a bit. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the things they talked about in terms of staying stiff and lack of movement, say from the waist down or even from the neck down. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with your initial injury that you mentioned regarding the fascia,
Yep.
and okay, so in my 30s, like 35, I was 35, and
Yep.
I began taking dance.
Yep.
I started with tap, and
Yep.
then I wanted to get better at rhythm and balance and turning. You know,
Yep.
turning was a big deal. And so all of those type of fine movements that requires balance and strength
Yeah.
is something that anyone needs to work into. Now, children don't have to work as hard to do that because adults are stiffer to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
So I was, all right.
Yep.
But I couldn't believe it. I actually got myself to do a full split slowly but surely. I didn't overdo
Yeah.
it. And the strength that came along with that was kind of interesting, but it didn't happen overnight. And I think that's one of the problems because fascia holds a lot of that stuff together. If you're tearing that apart, then you limit your ability to do anything because if it is destroyed, then you really can't use the muscles and the ligaments and everything without having your body rush in with inflammation to try and repair the
It does. Yeah.
problems,
No,
right?
I'm actually quite flexible around my shoulders. My shoulders are quite flexible,
Well, that's good.
much better than most, really. But movement's great, provided you don't stretch into pain. Stretching into pain is the danger area. And
Yeah.
everyone encourages us to stretch into pain. The army certainly did. And even my martial arts
Oh, yeah,
training
they
certainly
say no
did.
pain, no gain.
That's right. That's right. So
Okay,
the,
well,
the
I
movement is
think it's
great,
a
provided you
lot
don't stretch into
better
pain.
if you don't stretch into pain, but work yourself towards the ultimate goal. Because obviously, if you tear things
Yeah, you
apart, you're
can,
not going to be in good shape.
and that's great, but that's provided you move within the pain boundary. A baby
Right.
never actually stretches, and they're very, very flexible. They never stretch. Dogs don't stretch. The only time a dog will stretch is when he wakes up and he sort of has a bit of a stretch, but other than that, they don't stretch, and they end up being flexible. Cats don't stretch at all,
Well,
and they
cats
end
Yeah.
up
feel
being
the pain.
stretchable.
They do a big stretch.
Yeah, but it's only a 2-minute thing. Not like stupid people.
Okay,
We
but
do stretching
let's
all the
look.
time.
Okay,
Let's
back
look
to the
at
subject.
children for a minute.
That's
Children
right.
never stretch
They
either.
don't stretch either.
And they're extremely thin. They're
That's right.
very flexible. But
Yeah.
with years, as the years go by, there is a stiffening impact that happens.
That's because we don't move the full range of movement.
Right.
What's happened is our Western toilets and our chairs and our comfortable living has taken that range of movement away from us. If we lived up on the islands, where I've worked up in the islands for months, they all squat as part of their daily practice all the time, and they would spend half an hour in a squat per day because they're cooking down there, or they're going to the toilet, or they're having a cup of tea, and they're
Sure.
just squatting. And we
Yeah.
can't do that. And they don't end up with the problems that we end up with. They don't end up with knee problems. They end up with the back problems.
Yeah. Okay. So, just for the benefit of anybody who's listening and considering this conversation, do not stretch into pain. Okay.
Correct. Well done.
Also, yeah, all I wanted to say is remember one time we talked about
Yeah.
circulation.
Yep.
Okay. And I was telling you how things would pile up on the inside of the blood vessel
Yep.
and it would get lodged on the side and it would
Yep.
limit the amount of blood flow that could come through. And the stretching can improve the flexibility of the muscle and virtually slowly clean out the garbage that's
Provided you
collected.
don't stretch into pain.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying. Do not
You
get
can
into the pain zone,
you
but
can
stay
move.
flexible
You can
and keep
move.
moving.
You can move, but don't stretch
Yeah.
into pain. Treat pain as a barrier, not an obstacle.
Yeah. And the same thing with the fascia thing,
That's right.
because the fascia is sort of like the same thing. And that's it's the extra muscular space where all that garbage and waste product gets collected. And if we don't move it enough, just like with our lymphatics, we collect a bunch of waste products there. If we don't move it away
Yeah.
and flush it out, between the fascia and the connective tissue associated with our lymphatic drainage, we
Yep.
want to make sure we maintain good drainage as well. And that's why
Yep.
movement is so important. And then the other
And the
thing,
range of movement. And the
well, the
range of
range of
movement.
movement, yes, because you want to boost circulation. The other thing that's really important is with all the joints. You were talking about how the cartilage, how some people, I don't know if you've had a hip replacement or a knee
No, I
replacement.
haven't had any replacement. I'm not going to, but everyone recommends that I have a replacement, but I'm not doing it.
Okay, but how dangerous is your cartilage?
I've lost 6 centimeters, five centimeters of height in my right leg compared to my left leg.
Okay,
So it's
so
it's quite
they've
it's
measured it out. Well, according to this study, they were
yeah.
saying that just moving all of these joints, like
Mm.
for instance, some dance movements require that you move your back, and like for instance, if you're
They're
doing
good
hula
movements.
hoop,
They're
yeah,
good.
they're all
They're good
good
movements.
movements.
Yep. Yep.
But all those movements, when done like 2 to 3 times a week or
Yep.
whatever in the movement field, that movement is almost like blinking your eye 2 or 3 times a minute, right? Because when
Yep.
you blink your eye, you're replenishing the moisture on your cornea, say.
Yep.
And it's the same thing as keeping the joints lubricated through movement. If you don't move, those joints get dried out. And then the cartilage wears down a lot faster. Not
It
only
does.
that, but if you keep the movement going, it also helps the body bring in the cartilage to
Yep. It
those
does
joints and rebuild it.
because the movements actually pump the
Right.
uh, pump the nutrients in and suck the waste products out. And
Absolutely.
that
And that's why I'm trying to promote this movement thing. In other words, if we're looking at all the joints, and I can't remember how many hundreds of joints we have
we've
in
got
our entire
lots. Yeah.
body, but if you look at our spinal cord,
There's
people,
lots.
there's a lot of joints, and what we want to do is keep those joints all moving. And
You
it's
keep
not that we have to stretch them out of,
keeping them moving is excellent. I do 2 hours a day or nearly 2 hours a day of movement, but it's not. But I'm slowly increasing my range. But my range of my shoulders has always been good. And particularly in my hips, I'm trying to get to an actual time where I can do a squat. I'm about halfway down now, so I've gone from about a third of the way down to halfway down. So I'm doing well. But movement is great. But movement into pain is that's where the danger area is, and that's what I fell into.
Okay, well, I don't want anybody to ever think that I recommend movement into pain, but I do recommend the movement, even
So do
if
I.
it's just a
So do
few
I.
little,
So do
as a
I.
matter of fact, they were saying that our shoulders have the broadest range of movement. There are some people, even including a lady in my choir, she can't move her shoulder at all.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And so all I'm saying is keep
Do
moving,
you know,
but don't be
I
painful
I
because
couldn't lift my arms for a long time,
Oh,
for many years because of my fibromyalgia. And since I've been taking the nutrients and getting rid of foods that I didn't realize were causing me issues, look,
yeah.
yeah,
Good on you.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all I'm saying is that with all the nutritionals and all the wisdom that your body carries, we've got to circulate it and make sure that all the joints get the attention they need to, as you were saying, Grant, bring in the cartilage rebuilding products
Correct.
and get rid of the waste and make sure that every joint is addressed,
And the range of movement is particularly important. I got plenty of
but not
movement,
into pain.
but
Okay.
not into pain. I had plenty of movement, but I didn't have the range of movement. So
Okay.
now I'm working my way out of it.
So I really wanted to emphasize that, and that's why I brought it out. And you see, dancing can do that. Like if you do the hula hoop, or if you do some of these crazy dances that involve shoulders and hips and whatever. As a matter of fact, with even your hip that you think may need to be replaced, or somebody tells you you need to have it
Uh,
replaced,
Everyone
I
tells me
would
that I
be
need to, but I'm not doing it.
yeah, I get it, and I would never do that either. I mean, I'm a lot older than you are, but
You're not that
I
much older than me. I'm 70, so you're in the 70s.
I'm almost 80.
Well, yeah, but you're closer to 80. I'm 70, so you're only 10 years
All
old,
right. Well,
19.
whatever. All I'm saying
Uh,
is the more you can move whatever that joint problem is, you
Correct.
don't have to overdo it, but the more you move it, the more you will encourage your body to repair it.
Yeah, and our
And I'm
chairs
not a doctor,
and
okay?
our chairs and our toilets take that range of movement away from us.
Okay, but we don't have to bow down to our chairs.
Bow down to our chairs.
We
No,
can still choose what we do with our hips if we want
we
to.
can.
You
We
know,
can.
you know.
We
So
can.
anyway, that stands. It's just like you wouldn't even dream of leaving your eyes wide open and never blinking, right? That would
That's
destroy
true.
your cornea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you need that lubrication.
Yeah. Particularly when it's hot.
And you need not only the lubrication, but all the other nutrients that keep your eyes going where they need to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
And of course, the circulation improves your eyesight,
It does.
because you bring more nutrients and you relax the muscles that are in your retina and all that macular degeneration stuff they talk about.
When I do my movement exercises of a morning, I do notice that my eyesight's better at the end of it
There you go.
than,
So you
than
have to,
normal. It's,
yeah.
it's, it's
And
significantly better.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, see, that's one thing I noticed when I started taking tap, jazz, and ballet.
Yeah.
I could not wear my glasses because I was perspiring so much they would just fall off if I turned, right?
Yeah.
So I said, forget it. I don't need my glasses. I'm not reading anything. And I definitely didn't need anything to see with to do
Yeah.
my dancing.
Yeah.
So I basically grew out of having to need glasses because I improved my circulation so much in the
Yeah. It
eye.
does. It does. It does. It does, doesn't it?
And
Doesn't
so
it?
there's a lot to be said by that. And in many ways, I'm sure you've heard about people doing eye exercises because you
Yeah.
move the
I do that
muscles.
as well. Yep.
That
Yep.
improves circulation and reduces the tension in the eye.
Yep.
And of course, we know that looking at blue screens and lighting is very damaging to the eyes because of the light reflection that can be harmful. And that's
Yep.
why they recommend using these beautiful blue screen blockers, right? So all these things will help improve our joints, our eyes, our cornea, our vision, our range of movement, and ideally avoid the need for hip transplants, knee transplants, and all that other garbage that is making the medical society $1 million
Very
at
rich.
our
Very
expense.
rich.
But on the other hand, we're not taking care of our bodies, so we need to do that. It's just like your car. You know, you have your car. If you don't get, you change the oil every 7 years, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh,
You
if
know,
it would still drive.
well, there you go. And so it's a matter of maintenance. We need body maintenance.
I'm in
And
agreement with
our,
you, Lisa.
yeah,
I'm
and
in
our
agreement
bodies
with you.
were designed to last at least, I mean, Moses made it for 120 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Not to mention Methuselah, who did 600 and so forth or whatever. But we need to get a lot more miles out of our bodies than we have been. And our medical system and our lifestyle is not helping. We need to squat more. I mean, even Jesus ate lying down on his blanket,
Mm, mm,
right?
mm.
Mr. Unit, did I say your name correctly? I can't hear you because your voice is turned off.
Oh, well, our voice is turned on.
No, we can hear
I can
you if
hear.
you
I can
lean
hear.
You
forward.
can hear me. Okay, well, what were you trying to say? I could tell you had something burning that you wanted to say.
What was I? No, I don't think so. Well, it might have been early on. Oh, yeah, no, wasn't anything important.
Okay,
I,
well, we
I,
don't want to miss anything that's important, so turn your volume up in case there's something important you want to say.
Well, I find if he leans into the camera, we can hear him.
okay, yeah, no, I was just
All
agreeing.
right,
I
so
was agreeing
isn't
with
that
Grant
wonderful?
Thanks,
about
thanks,
knee
John.
replacements and
Now,
joint replacements.
No,
yeah,
I'm avoiding it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
okay,
So
are you on the joint replacement list too as well?
Oh, I've got a crook knee, but people say, oh, you should get it replaced. And while ever I can get around on it, it won't be replaced.
Yeah.
well, I've had only in my whole lot in my last 6 years, everyone I've met, bar two people, have told me. People have run across the road to tell me how wonderful the hip replacement is. And they're
Yeah,
strangers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, as
yeah.
Doc would say, having your hip replaced or your a joint replaced, it you actually is amputation.
Yeah, well, it's
Got
true. Yeah,
amputated to
yeah.
do it.
Cut in half.
You,
And I'm doing it.
you
So
never hear about the ones that aren't successful
Oh,
and
I've heard of a few.
they
I've heard
get
of a few.
infected and
Yeah, yeah.
all sorts of problems.
I've
yeah,
heard of a few.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm,
well,
mm.
I guess what I'd like to just encourage is that whichever joint seems to be ailing the most, move it.
Not into pain though.
Don't don't get painful, just move it.
yeah. That now
Because your
look,
That's
body,
correct.
there's a movie on that in
what was that?
Madagascar. The
What was
Madagascar
that?
movie, the Lima, whatever he is.
Oh, I move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
King
Move
Julian.
it. Yeah,
Move
yeah,
it, move it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you because, you know, our body is so powerful at taking care of itself. Every time we go to sleep and we go into deep sleep, our body goes, oh, we got to fix this over here. We got to fix this over there. We've got to fix this over there. And that's the whole purpose of that phase of sleep is to take
Mm.
care of body mechanics.
Yep.
And so why
Yeah.
not? It's like hiring a maid to clean your house, but telling them, don't work so hard. Just sit and watch television all day. I'll still pay you. You know, I'll still eat. I'll still sleep, but you don't have to do what you were sent here to do.
Oh,
Mm,
that's
You know,
mm.
way of
that
putting it.
reminds me so much of God's first commandment that he gave us. He did not say, I want you to go and sit in front of the television and learn all you can about me. No, I want you to go out and be fruitful and multiply.
We certainly did that.
Do you know what I mean?
We've overdone it.
What
I
was
don't know
that?
about the overdone.
Uh-huh.
You've overdone it? You have 12 kids. Okay, I
No,
get it.
no. Humanity has overdone it, I think.
Humanity's done it. Yeah.
Well, all right. So we have to really realize that he gave us a body that was intended to be used, to be
Yes.
fruitful and multiply. And that's one of the biggest problems with retiring. There's so many jokes around here that say, don't retire because you'll be dead in 2 years.
Well, that happens. That's quite happens, particularly to men.
To you?
No, not to me, but to men. It happens to men quite a lot.
Well, that's the thing is, if you don't have a desire and a burning
Mm,
ambition to
yeah.
contribute in some way,
Mm,
your body isn't going to want to get out of bed, do things. You won't be driven by that passion, and that
yeah.
passion requires movement, and your body thrives on movement,
Well,
right?
I can't see John and Yvonne will never retire because they're on property and they've got all these goats to look after.
Well,
And the goats are keeping them young and vivacious, right?
yeah, I spent most of yesterday up a ladder trying to prune the pear tree.
Oh,
Well,
good
good
on you,
for
John.
you. Some people will do anything to get up in the world.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
On
See,
the
in
ladder of
Japan,
success.
well, in certain parts of Japan anyway, well, I don't know if it's all over the culture, but just in the Blue Zone, I saw it on a Blue Zone documentary that they don't call it retirement. They don't even use that word. They moving into the next phase of their life,
Okay.
next
Yeah.
stage, and they don't actually ever really retire. They go and do other things, and sort of someone's got to teach the young
Stay
one.
active.
And
Yeah.
they're like in this Blue Zone part where they live quite a long life, well into their hundreds. And there's these women who are in their hundreds still diving to get this particular, I can't remember what it was.
Pearl.
I don't know what it was, but anyway, it doesn't really
Seaweed?
matter. And they're in their hundreds and they're teaching the ones in their 90s how to do it. And then
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, age is really.
they see the word, as soon as you tell your brain you're retiring, it shuts down. So they don't use that word at all. They just
Yeah.
the next stage, they're moving to the next stage.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody needs a burning passion and desire to do something, whether it's photography, raising kids, pulling weeds. That's one of my biggest desires is to go out and sweep the driveway. I just love doing that because I feel so accomplished when I do that. And the other thing is I was listening to a minister as I might have mentioned to you that my now deceased husband as of 13, he was a minister, and he would say that ministers never retire.
No, they don't. Not
And he would say that the only reason he would retire is if he were a car.
Ah.
A car needs to
Yeah.
be retired every once in a while when the four wheels wear out.
Fall off. Yeah.
Okay, well, then another minister, this is the joke that you might not be that interested in, but he was so successful in his ministry that he earned enough money writing books and giving lectures and stuff like that, that he paid the church back for all the money over his 30 some years that he pastored that church. He paid all that money back to the church as sort of like giving back to the church so the church could do their thing. And now he works as a pastor completely free. And he says that he's not interested in being famous or recognized or paid for serving in God's world, right? So he was saying that you, as the church, can hire a minister or someone to come in and speak and work here at the church. But as far as I'm concerned, I want to do good things for nothing.
Mm. Mm.
So he said he was good for nothing.
Good on him.
So that has a lot to do with how the choices that we make in life. And one of the famous, in professional development and career guidance, the secret to having your ideal job is doing the job you would love to do, whether you get paid or not.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yep.
Well, I
So
do this
it's
job
not a
because
matter
I want to
of
do it.
arriving at work on time or putting putting your time in, showing up late or whatever, being on the payroll. I mean, these days a lot of people want to get paid, but they don't want to come to work.
That is very true. They want everything, but do nothing for it.
Okay, but that's a big indicator that they are not doing what they would do if they didn't get paid. And that's a very important thing
Some
to
people are
find
very efficient at
something.
home, though, depending on what they do. Uh,
Yeah,
my sister was quite efficient at home, um,
yeah. Being
and
efficient at home is good, but I mean, if you're earning a living, the ideal situation is to have a job that you would do whether you get paid or not.
correct. That's correct. Yeah. Yep, yep,
And
yep.
that gives you a better idea about coming to work because some people freak out on Monday mornings because they have to go to work and they hate it. The number
Mm,
of people
mm,
that go to work that they hate
mm.
is like being in prison.
Yeah. Well, it is a
And
prison.
so that whole ideology can have a huge impact on somebody's health and well-being,
Mm,
their creativity, their enjoyment, and then it rubs off on everybody else they work with. And so
it
their
does.
team effort is not well structured
Mm,
because you don't want to work with people that are complaining all the time.
no,
So that whole
You don't want to live
happiness
with people who
factor,
complain all the time either.
no.
well, it's a big factor when you're talking about health. It's important to stay happy, and no one can make you happy. You have to decide what you want to do so that you can be happy.
That's true.
Which brings me to my next favorite topic. I didn't really expect to talk about this today, but I just love it so much, and that is being the source. Like, for instance, in my way of thinking, and I believe that's why we were created as children of God, we are all universally connected to each other. And when I give to you, especially Bronwyn, because she's my closest friend, when I give anything to her, I automatically feel like I am giving to myself. So the reward of contributing to Grant and contributing to Yvonne and her husband, whose name I
John.
don't know.
His name's John.
John! My brother's name, John. Yes, John. Okay, so in the process of giving to other
One of Jesus'
people,
disciples is John.
absolutely. My
Oh, John,
brother's
there's
name,
John the
John.
Baptist.
My
There you
sister's
go.
been married 3 times, and each one of them, their name was John.
She's prejudiced.
Well, look,
Well,
she doesn't have to worry about talking in her sleep, then, does she?
not
Mm,
only that, but she'll never forget her husband's name because if it's her husband, his name has to be John.
mm.
But anyway, it's a very interesting thing. But you see, it all depends on the perspective we've adopted. By the way, I am writing a book right now,
Okay.
and I'm on the chapter that addresses fear. And I'm really excited about it. It's the 4th chapter right now, but the title of the book is called The Possibility Perspective. And what I thought was so interesting is when, like you go into the Bible app that they have and you put in certain words and it brings up all the different verses that address a certain word. Do you know what the most common word in the Bible is in reference to time?
No.
Oh,
Well, let's face it, in biblical times, they didn't have seconds. So then you'll never see a word in the Bible that says, well, it only took them 3 seconds to recognize that this was a butterfly or something. You'll never hear that. And they did have hour glasses or hour sundials that represented hours. And they did refer to the thing of an hour, but it wasn't like a clock the way we have them today because they weren't really measuring minutes the way we do today, right? they did know about years because they noticed how the sun showed up every year at a certain place at a certain time. And then the moon was one of those big things in the sky that marked off very closely 7 days at a time, right? If you look at most moons, well, actually, the lunar months throughout the year, there
28
are
days.
13 28-day months in the year.
Correct.
Okay. And so each 7 day is very close to a quarter of a moon. You start out with a full moon, it shrinks to a quarter moon, then it disappears. Then it shows up as the first quarter, and then the second quarter becomes the full moon again. And that takes approximately 7 days. So they kind of had that semi figured out because of the moons. And just in case you've never heard this, a woman's menstrual cycle is very closely related to the phases of the moon. Have you ever heard that?
No,
Have you ever heard of a group of women working
I've heard
together in the
that.
same?
My
If
mother
they,
grew up
if
in a
the,
convent.
okay, well, there you go. So, they've often talked about how if you have a group of women together, they all tend to get on, their period at the same time,
Yeah.
and then they lose it because they're all tuned into the moon phases. Can you believe that? But anyway, I thought when it came to time, because the Bible also refers to seasons and, a day's journey type of thing. The average journey in a day might be 20 miles. But anyway, I thought the most frequently used word in the Bible for time was the word day.
Oh, okay.
So I looked it up on the Bible app and it said 2,100 plus times. 2,100 times. Now, there are 66 books in the Bible, and each of those books has different numbers of chapters and so forth. But interestingly enough, there's actually another word that refers to time, that is more frequently used than the word day.
Wow.
And that is?
Well, you would know that because you all read the Bible, don't you?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that we know what the most frequent word used is.
Okay, but I mean, is there like an inkling of how that could possibly surface? I mean, if you think of all the things you've heard that happen.
And night, dark
Yeah.
and light.
Hour.
You don't know,
No,
John?
I can't think off the top of my head.
Okay, well, I was really shocked to discover, but it made a lot of sense. According to my research, and I don't know how many thousands of words, but I know there's like 7,000 promises that God has made to us in the Bible. And day is only 2,100, but the word in the Bible that's used more frequently than the word day is the word now.
Oh. Oh.
Now, when you think about it, when God gave a commandment, he didn't say, okay, and this is due in 30 days. And if you're late, you get a late fee type of thing. Everything that God said, he meant it for exactly this moment. But aside from what God said, the whole idea of now is the most precious, valuable moment that we have is right now. And when you think of people that get sick and have health issues, a lot of times it's because they're stressed out and full of remorse and regret over what happened in the past. And that has nothing to do with what you said, Bronwyn, before I got here. But let's face it, how much do we struggle and suffer over what has already happened instead of just enjoying the moment because it's not happening right this moment? And then other people not brown one though. They worry about what's going to happen in the future. And both of those concerns of the future and the past can be stressful. And whenever we're stressed, it ruins all the biological balance that our body was naturally born with. Like, for instance, that baby that's right there in your lap. Do you think that little girl, even before she was sleeping, do you think she was worried about what you think of her?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, if she was just herself. She wasn't afraid of being judged, you know.
No, she's a good little thing.
She's a good little thing because she's in the natural state of non-judgment. She's just living in the moment. And if it hurts, she's going to let you know. And if she's hungry, she'll let you know.
And she
Oh,
won't
so
move into
beautiful.
pain.
She won't move into pain.
No.
Absolutely. So, as adults and thinking rational type people who never judge, the best thing we can do is have a vision or a goal or a purpose, a sense of meaning for us. And that's one of the healthiest things we can do. And yes, all of those, even getting up on a ladder can have its challenges, especially if you have a sore knee or a hip or whatever, a
Yes,
headache.
John.
It can be a challenge, but we can overcome those challenges because we are so in love with our purpose, our mission, our
Agreed.
taking care of the children, our taking care of our goats, our taking care of the weeds, our sweeping the sidewalk, whatever it is. It's that mission that gets us out of our mess of not enjoying the now,
Mm.
the now, right?
Yeah. I hadn't thought of now as a well, kind of. I do know it refers to time, but not in the sense that you were talking about.
Well, that's a whole idea because it awakens a perception of time.
Mm.
Because this present moment is fully worth experiencing for the sake of this moment. So we can learn something, so we can exchange ideas, whatever this moment has available to us is the healthiest thing we can do with it because if we're living in the past or the future, we're not present. How many relationships and marriages are destroyed because the present is not honored? The wife cooks a beautiful dinner and the husband's thinking about work while he's eating and he couldn't care less what it tastes like because he's worried about what he has to do tomorrow or who knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the ability to just enjoy the present. And yes, we do have a bad hip or we do have tight fascia or we do have dry eyes, but we can do a lot more about it if we address it
Correct.
and make better choices in the future so it doesn't get worse.
And take responsibility for our own health.
That's right. And the
Mm.
best way we can do that is to make sure we're focused on the most important thing we can do in creating your joy.
Yeah.
When we're happy, we have more energy. I'm always so excited once a month when I have to come here and talk to Bronwyn.
We love it. Really love it when you come too. Even if today we've been here, there, and everywhere.
Well, whatever it is, but it's the whole idea of exchanging ideas, offering a service. Maybe nobody wants it, but at least you get an opportunity to contribute in some way. Maybe you can make fun of me. That's all right. I don't care.
Oh no, we just love the fact that John was up a tree.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
We learned that John was up a tree, up a ladder in the tree. Just he's
We-
reliving his childhood.
Oh, you know what? Childhood is my favorite phase of living because when I was growing up, my favorite song was from Peter Pan, I Won't Grow Up. I already
Ah.
decided I will not grow up because grown-ups are too stuffy. They don't know how to play anymore. They don't know how to use their imagination, and they just keep me grounded when I want to go out there and explore and learn things and try things out,
Go
Yeah.
Peter Pan.
like Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So
What was that you were
anyway,
going to say, Yvonne? You leant forward to say something and we didn't hear you.
I can't hear you.
One and didn't fall out of the tree. Oh, we
I
can't hear
missed
you.
it. What?
He's 81 and didn't
Yes.
fall out of the tree.
Oh, and didn't
Oh,
fall out of
good for him. Well, guess what? If he did fall out of the tree, I bet you anything he'll bounce right up and he won't break.
like Tigger.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I was out cutting some branches in my front yard, and somehow I tipped over on my ladder or chair or whatever it was, and I fell. And I go, oh, good, I didn't break anything. That means we're still in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I hear so many people,
true.
they fall and then they
Yeah.
break their hip and then they're dead in a year or something like that. That's what everybody says. But the more
Well,
active we are, the stronger our bones.
some people break their hip and then fall, really.
Yeah, some people, as a matter of fact, with osteoporosis, I've heard some doctors say that
Yeah.
people break their hip, and of course, they fall over because there's no connection left there.
Correct.
They've already
Yeah,
broken
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so the structure, the scaffolding of the body has been torn down. That's why you have to move,
Move it.
Oh, one last thing I wanted to bring up before we part ways here, and that is the significance of two important tissues that have been elevated to the status of organ. Can you imagine what that is?
The skin.
Skin?
No, the skin has
Oh.
always been an organ, but it is composed of skin tissue, but the skin in general is an organ as well.
Well, I've heard the fluid in our body is now considered an organ.
Okay, well, that's the lymphatic system. It's sort of like the circulatory system that's headed and composed of the blood vessels and the heart and all the valves and all that kind of thing. You could consider the lymphatics if you wanted as an organ, but I'm referring to two other tissues that are now considered organs.
That word before.
I'm guessing our joint tissue.
I don't know. The word.
I don't know.
Okay, one of the criteria of an organ is that they secrete hormones.
Okay.
Okay.
Like the pancreas is an organ and it makes insulin and other hormones, say. And the liver is an organ and it makes
Is the lung an
cholesterol.
organ? Is the lung an organ? That's not an organ.
What
The
is
lung. The lung. The
lung is
lungs.
very much an organ. Yes. As a matter of
What-
fact,
what
that was
hormones
another
does it-
thing.
What hormones does it secrete? What hormones does the lung secrete?
Mucus.
Oh, okay.
And that's the mucus that, well, the lung is composed of alveoli and
Yep.
bronchial trees,
Yep.
and all of those need to be lubricated by mucus. But the mucus, usually a hormone, is something produced by one organ for the benefit of another organ. Like, for instance, the liver will make bile
Oh, okay.
as a detoxifying effect that the liver
Okay.
will make bile, and then it's secreted into the gut as not only a source of elimination, but also to, I don't know if you want to call it feed the gut bacteria or whatever it's supposed to do, but it definitely makes a compound that doesn't necessarily benefit the liver. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
okay. Okay. Little symbiotic relationships going on.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you look at all of the cells in our body and all the different organs that the cells contribute to.
bone marrow creating white and red blood cells.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I like to think of humanity as like one big body. Like
Okay.
you don't ever hear of a skin cell that complains about the liver taking too long to create cholesterol.
No.
Do you know what I mean? In other words, all those cells in the different organs are doing different jobs, but they don't complain about each other because they know that they feed into each other and create this whole unified field of cooperation. Just like I believe humanity, we have such a diversity of culture and languages, appearances and abilities, and yet we're not living as a cohesive world humanity unit.
So, Lisa, could you say that organs are sort of dependent on each other, interdependent on each other?
Absolutely. Yeah, because
Like
all of those
from a
things.
hormone point of view as well as a practical plumbing point of view.
Right. Absolutely. But the two organs I wanted to address was number one, fat.
Oh,
Fat tissue that we collect under our skin. And then there's things called, there's brown fat that surrounds it. Have you heard of brown fat? It's loaded
yes,
with
it's
mitochondria.
Wim Hof's good on brown fat. He has a
Okay.
lot of brown
So,
fat, more than most people. It's good for access to the cold,
yeah,
cold.
right. Because it
Mm,
helps
mm.
with temperature regulation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
Then there's this thing called visceral fat,
Yes,
which is the fat that's trapped within our organs and can actually interfere with organ production and performance because it's virtually strangulating the bowels and
yeah,
interfering with its activity.
yeah.
Okay. And so it'll actually make hormones that boost additional production of fat that may go in the wrong part of your body, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
accumulate in a way that's not beneficial. And the other organ is the muscles. Now,
Muscles.
we usually think of muscle tissue as muscle tissue, and we enjoy our steaks sometimes and whatever muscles have to offer. But building muscle is one of the best things we can do to overcome the incidence and decrease the incidence of glucose intolerance. The more muscle mass we have and the more active we have in our muscles, it also boosts metabolism and keeps us warmer. Men have a lot more muscle than women. Men stay warmer longer. Their metabolism runs at a higher rate than women who tend to have less muscle for various reasons.
Except in water, we don't.
Well,
Men don't handle cold water as well as women do.
okay, yeah, well, there you go. I'm not exactly a cold water fan, but there is definitely one of the best things we can do, which we talked about at a previous session, is to put an ice cube on your face,
Yes,
right?
yes, we did. Yeah,
Use
yeah.
that
That was
ice cube
last
all
time.
over
Yeah,
your face
yeah.
and stimulate those fibroblasts into making more collagen so that you don't age as quickly in the skin.
Mm. Mm.
In other words, it stimulates what the body naturally is capable of doing by
Yes.
modulating the circulation and igniting those fibroblasts and stuff like that. But
Mm.
anyway, I think the human body is far more exciting than going to Disneyland, to be honest, because it does such an amazing diversified ability. By the way, speaking of Disneyland, have you ever noticed how many robotic elements are going on in Disneyland? Have you ever gone to Disneyland or
I've been
anything
to
like?
Disneyland, but not for a long time.
Yeah, it was. It's how many years now since I've
Did
been
you come to LA for Disneyland or did you go to some of the other
LA.
No,
worldwide?
LA. Yep, LA. I was there
Yeah,
twice.
The
okay.
original.
Well, they've done the original good. Well, they put one in Orlando, and that was Disney World, and now they have one, I'm pretty sure, in like Japan
Yep.
Yeah.
In
and
Paris.
France and all these different places, which I'm
Mm.
sure they're learning as they go. but they did a beautiful job of taking a deserted desert, drier than a cornflake, in the middle of Southern California, and just pumping in all these mountains and rivers and streams and robots and rides and parking lots and hotels that have earned a tremendous amount of money just because somebody took something, took nothing and made something out of it. They took
Yeah, yeah.
this property. So when is Australia going to get their Disneyland?
We've
I
had
don't know if we will, really.
we've got Movie World and Dream World and all
Yeah.
that stuff up on the Gold
Oh,
Coast.
you have Dream World over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
We have Movie World and Wet and Wild and all sorts of things.
You have your own amusement parks, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Do you have national parks as a country?
Oh, yeah, we've got some big
We
ones.
have a lot
Yeah,
of
some
national
huge
parks.
ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's one of my passion list experiences
Yeah,
to look forward to.
there's a lot of beautiful national parks. I love going walking in them, exploring them,
Absolutely.
being in nature.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Gorgeous.
Well, we've kind of gone over time now, so
Okay, well, here we are. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. August 4th for you,
fourth for
August
us.
3rd
Yeah.
for me. And here we go.
So
So thank you for listening.
Thank you for
for
talking.
coming,
Thank you, Lisa.
and Pharmacist Lisa. We appreciate you very much. Yvonne, you want to say something? No? Yes? You got to take your mute off.
She's going to invite us over for dinner now, right, Yvonne?
Like-
That's what I'm trying to do. No, it was very interesting. Thank you.
And we
Oh,
are
well,
very
thank you,
interested to
Yvonne.
know that John didn't fall out the tree.
You didn't push.
That
Did
was the
you hold the
highlight of
ladder
the
or did you
evening
push it?
or morning.
Do you what?
Did you hold the ladder or not, or just let him do
No,
it by himself?
he was up it and I wasn't there, so
Oh,
if
okay.
he fell
Yeah.
off, it'd be his own fault.
Okay.
Yay, John. Good job.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And as I ask you all nicely here in Bronie's World, just stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. Oh my goodness. And look, now is the time to take action and look after yourself and move properly without
Going into pain.
draining yourself and putting pain on yourself. And then you too, my friends, will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. And at 81, still be able to climb a tree.
All
For
right.
sure. Bye for now.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, everyone.
Beautiful day.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.